right, we are back, and you are tuned to Image Home Improvement Live right here on the Double Wide Network, and we are here. That's right, and things are happening like at warp speed. Let me tell you, there are so many people here at the player networking event, at an NFL-sanctioned event right here on the ASU campus, and we've got a lot of other great information, some great guests coming your way, and. We've already seen, Dan, I've seen stars go by. I mean, I haven't, one thing I'm going to have to ask our next guest though, because, I haven't seen the Cowboy cheerleaders come down yet. I've seen a lot of very attractive ladies here today, but I haven't seen the cheerleaders yet. We're going to have to talk to Darryl about that. But with no further ado, we want to introduce Darryl Clack, former Dallas Cowboy, and Darryl, it's such a pleasure to have you back on the show. And Ray, I mentioned that you were up next, and I started hearing these Cowboy jokes. What's the deal there?
Hey, that competition between the Cowboys and the Eagles is ongoing. Even when we're not playing no more, it's still a competition.
That's great.
He's a good guy, good friend of mine. So.
Well, yeah, he's a great player, and I have to commend him for help putting this event together with Guy Troop, because it's going to help a lot of players kind of see what else, and plus, what place could you go? This is like a big job fair, career fair, where you can learn exactly what areas that maybe if you're on the fence and you don't know what you want to get into, you could actually go back in and talk with people and see what really interests you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a great event, and it gives a lot of the guys, former players and things, to get out there and along with networking their own businesses and endeavors that they have, but also get an opportunity to even meet other individuals on seeing if there's some things that are out there that you may coincide with each other, or you can help each other out doing and working and helping and just growing your businesses and your products and stuff. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm honored to be here, and this is a great turnout. So this is nice. Really like this.
It's great. I mean, like I said, there are a lot of people. The aisles are full. The people are networking. There are a lot of players. I mean, Darryl, I think if we weren't doing the show today and we were here, I could probably pick out some people, but there are so many pro athletes here today. You'd have to keep score for me.
Yes, there's a lot.
Absolutely. There are a lot of people here.
Yeah, and there's some more coming. So.
Oh my God! All right.
So it's going to be interesting, very fun and nice day today. So. This is great. This is great.
One of the things that we wanted to touch base on, being that obviously we do a lot of home improvement, and I tell people all the time when we go back in and do complete remodels, that you just can't have the contractor come in and tear your house apart. You've got to get your home ready for a major remodel, and I always try and draw analogies between what you as a former NFL player had done to get ready for games, especially something like the big game tomorrow, getting ready, because that's obviously the ultimate to get ready for, and make that analogy of what things that you needed to do versus like what I tell homeowners that they need to do to get their act ready.
Well, I think one of the big things too is from a player standpoint is you focus on, number one, is your body. Making sure your body's been taken care of, making sure you're eating right, making sure you're getting the proper amount of rest, because you're gonna sustain a lot of energy and use up a lot of energy, especially on an event like this where you have many events that you're attending and a lot of interviews and things like that. So your schedule is nonstop. So one big thing is taking care of your body. The second big thing is a lot of it is mental, and it's just preparing yourself mentally and based off of what you need to do, how you need to do it, and getting yourself situated in a position to where you're there and you're focused, and at the same time it's emotional, and so you want to make sure that your emotions are intact, because sometimes your emotions could go off and run away with you, but at the same time too as well is you worked so hard to get to this particular situation, so you want to make it worthwhile for being here and give it your best, and because it's a once in a lifetime chance,
Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't come knocking twice. Now, good thing about it, it came twice for Seattle, so but at the same time, it's number 6 for New England. So it's a good opportunity, and I think a lot of guys realize that, and they prepared themselves all their lives to get to this particular situation. So when you reach this level, you can turn around and say you've done it, you did it, you did the right things, you prepared yourself mentally, you prepared yourself your body-wise, you studied, you worked really extremely hard, and this is the outcome of all that hard work.
Well, as we tell people, for instance, with homes that maybe haven't had any work done at all, I mean, if there is stuff that you need to organize, which I think is a key, correct, and just to get your home organized so that this way, if you've got like a ton of clutter,
right,
you need to get rid of it. Get rid of it because you don't want it. Once you start dealing with your remodel, okay, much like when you start dealing with, getting your body in shape for, the task ahead. Believe me, a lot of homeowners, it's not just a physical thing like moving things around. It is a very, like you say, emotional thing when if they're not prepared for it. And here I come in as a contractor and I say, okay, we got to do this, this, and this, and I've got my plan all laid out, and they're looking at me like deer in the headlights. They have no clue what's coming, and then if they're not ready for what I'm going to be prepared to do with their home, they're not going to be that communication gap, much like you and the coach.
Correct.
The communication gap, you're not going to perform.
It builds up
and
a
there's going to be problems.
Right. Big problems. And like you said, it's about preparation, and it's about them understanding that, you're getting ready to go to another phase, whether it's, going through a home rebuild or whatever type of improvement you're doing to your home. So that's a whole new phase that you got to go through. In order to get to that point, you have to work as a team, and so if you have contractors coming in, you want to be able to have that home, like you said, where there's not no clutter there and there's not a lot of things that's going to limit and hinder the contractor to do what he needs to do to get your house prepared for that next level. And that is, to me, it's all still teamwork, and it's working together, it's working with the contractor, it's taking a lot of things out and making their job a lot easier. It makes that transition a lot smoother.
And then sit down and actually have it on paper so everybody understands it clearly of what's the next part of the game plan. Yeah. If we're going to tear the kitchen apart, what's our backup plan? How do we eat?
Right, exactly.
Like
what do we need? Exactly. That's so true. A game plan, communication, and it's the same process as you do with the football game. You sit down with your players, your coaches, you generate a game plan, and you execute that game plan based off of which, and it's the same thing with the contractors and your customers. Same process, it's nothing no different.
Yeah, if you lose one of the people on your main line that you intended for the whole game and all of a sudden he's out, you better have a good game plan.
You have a backup, exactly, and have a backup too, because you got to have a backup player.
Plan A, B, C, and D.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of that, which I think was a great segue, your particular situation when you did a transition and you went from pro player into regular life again, how was that for you?
Well, it was it was trying to figure out what I wanted to do after the game of football. And the first thing that I realized in any case, as far as getting into the business world or the corporate world or whatever it is that you want, is to make sure that you have that education background. And so my first process was to go back to college and get my college degree. And at that point, I did that, and once I was able to get that, then I was able to determine what I wanted to do from a job-wise from not playing football anymore, which, to be honest with you, was a humongous challenge because a lot of guys, especially during my time, we didn't have a plan B. We didn't know what we wanted to do when we played the game of football. It's like football has been our entire life.
And it didn't even cross your mind that something's gonna, what am I gonna do when I'm done? I'm focused on this now.
Yeah, and our mindset as a football player is we want to play forever. We want to play this game as long as we can play. And that's why a lot of guys, they get injuries, they have surgeries, and it's just hard for them to give the game up because that's all we know, that's all we've ever been groomed to do. And so when it comes down to it, it's a learning curve, and it's a learning curve that I went through, and I'm sure a lot of other guys went through as well. But at the end of the day, once you realize it and once you get out there and just determine what you want to do, then your mindset kicks in, because now you condition to work hard, you condition to dedicate yourself, you condition to give it your all, and you take that same mentality and you put it in the workforce. And that's kind of how I am at this point.
And how's that, as they used to say, as Dr. Phil says, how's that working? How's the transition working for you now?
How's that working?
Right now, it's going good. I have no complaints right now. I currently work for Cox Communications, and it's a good company, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and great people. And on the side of that, I also have a company called Sport Metric, where we specialize in doing youth football camps for kids between ages 7 and 17. We talk to kids about education. We talk to kids about community involvement, and we teach them skills and drills on how to get them from one stage of the game in football to the next level, and get them to understand that not every kid is going to make it to the professional level, but because of that, then what is going to be your plan B to help yourself get accustomed to the real world outside of football.
And that's just really, going through that transition, and I'm sure that you've come into contact with a lot of younger players that you've probably been a very good role model for, to be able to let them know, hey, I really need to think about this, because if you didn't think about this before, thank God that there's somebody there now to help you and make through that, because it's only going to better your life down the road.
Yeah, and the thing about that too is that, because of the persona that's out there, that everybody sees professional football player, professional athlete, and the first thing that comes to their mind is all the money that they can make, and not, from a professional football player standpoint, it's only 1% of kids that are making to that level. And they have to understand that all the kids are not going to make it. So what are we going to do? What do you want to do outside of playing football? What is your goals? And I talk to kids about that, and I try to make kids understand that you can still have that dream of being a professional football player and work toward that. But in the event that does not happen, you've also got your education. You also went to school and did all the things that you need to do to prepare yourself for outside of football. And that's kind of what we emphasize a lot with kids.
That's good. How can our listeners contact you if they would like to get you involved in some of their programs here in the Valley?
Well, my phone number, my email address is the letter dclack42@gmail.com. You can go on my website, which is sportmetric.us, or like me on Facebook, which is do Sportmetric. And then my phone number is 602-793-0636. So give me a call and see what we can do to help out in the Valley, around wherever you like. So I'm open for everything. I do guest appearances, I do speaking engagements, along with setting up football camps for youth kids. So anything I can help out the community, I'm all for.
That's great. Darryl, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the event.
Thank you.
We're going to go out and check it out ourselves when we get done with the broadcast, but we're looking forward to meeting a lot of great people.
Thanks.
I'll find you.
Thanks.
You can be our tour guide.
Oh, I'm here. Let me know. This is great. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, our next guest, Brian Morris from We Fix Ugly Pools, is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about everything with pools and how it's going to help some of the rehabilitation that you possibly may be going through if you are an athlete or if you just are a weekend warrior. So
it doesn't have to be an ugly rehab either.
No, doesn't have to be ugly rehab. You're listening to Image Home Improvement Live right here at the Player Network event on the ASU campus. Don't go away.